You're here today with Matt the Man. This is a cultural critique against social justice warriors, SJWs. Samurai Jack is an animated series that originally played on Cartoon Network as a children's show. Now it has moved in its fifth season to Adult Swim, where it's intended for a mature audience. It was created by Jendy Tartakovsky, the creator of classic animated series like Dexter's Laboratory and co-creator of Sunday Takes and the director of Hotel Transylvania of the Hotel Transylvania movie franchise. I wish to speak about the fifth season because of Samurai Jack in particular, which I feel is the best season of the show ever. It is about a samurai warrior named Jack who gets flung into the future for a portal by an evil demon named Aku. Jack soon discovers that he is in a dystopian future of robots and other weird creatures. The show has a very thin plot line. Jack is merely trying to find a time portal to return to his own present, feudal Japan, and preferably kill Aku in the process. One of the new characters in Season 5 is a love interest for Jack named Ashi, who happens to be one of the human daughters of Aku. The daughters of Aku are basically half-demons created by him to do away with Samurai Jack. Ashi was different than the others. She did not do her job as an assassin and was abused by her peers as a result. When Samurai Jack kills all her sisters, he does not kill Ashi. But shows that her father, who is the evil one, that it is her father who is the evil one and not Jack himself. They wind up being together, and in an episode of Season 5 and final season, they share a kiss. Some people have criticized the romantic ending of Episode 8 as either forced or cliched. I disagree. I thought it was necessary for the development of both the plot and the characters. But that was not the most infuriating response to the episode. One group of viewers objected furiously to the kiss. Why, you ask? They were offended by the simple display of affection. No, they did feel the kiss spoiled the plot line. No, did they feel the kiss spoiled the plot line? No. What they objected was the fact that Jack and Ashi are a heterosexual couple. That's right. They objected because the relationship was like 95% of the relationships in the world. They object because they feel only a homosexual relationship should be presented on the program. For those are the social justice warriors, SJWs for short. They whine and complain about the politics of our TV shows and movies are not fair to everyone. It is hard to see how insisting that all romantic relationships represent a small minority of the population would be fair to everyone, but social justice warriors never shrink from hypocrisy by making their political agenda an absolute priority. They are trying to ruin our movies and TV shows. Samurai Jack is just one particularly absurd example of their attempt. Fortunately, Mr. Tartakovsky doesn't seem to be listening to them, so for now, the classic romantic comedy format Boy Meets Girl is safe. You're here today with Matt the Man. Today I'm thinking about, do we need zoos and why? Some people say that we don't need zoos or even that zoos are evil. One example is Bill Nye the Science Guy, who has become something of a political hack. They say that zoos enslave animals, subject them to unnatural and unhealthy conditions, and pander to human priorities rather than what's best for the animals. To the contrary, we need zoos in order to keep endangered species populations afloat. In the words of the spokesperson for feline conservation, the idea that we can save endangered species without the help of zoos is simply unrealistic. Unless we can stop deforestation, unless we can end poaching, unless we can stop the black market, we cannot save endangered species. Habitat destruction, illegal hunting, and the pet trade are three reasons that certain species of animal cannot survive in the wild. In order to protect these species of extinctions, you must create safe conditions of captivity for them to live and reproduce. That's what zoos do. Some people say we don't need zoos to preserve animal species. We should just construct animal sanctuaries. The problem with the idea is sanctuaries don't captive breed animals. They don't ensure the animals' continued survival over generations. Plus, sanctuaries require large tracts of land. They are very costly. People are willing to fund sanctuaries since they don't really get to see animals in them. If you're going to ask people to pay, you have to give them entertainment. Other people say we should just let species go extinct. They claim it is wrong making individual animals suffer. Captivity for the sake of species survival, but the principle of the greater good for many suggests that this idea is just wrong. Again, in the words of the feline conservation spokesperson, the notion that we should just let entire species go extinct to political correctness is not only ridiculous, but morally reprehensible. Zoos remain the best way to educate people to care about animals. If they care more about animals, they will be more concerned to avoid destroying their habitats. Supporting illegal trade over time, then zoos not only preserve species in captivity, but help create a mindset that will lead to the preservation of animals in the wild. You're here today with Matt the Man. I'd like to share my movie review on Suicide Squad. I thought this movie was amazing and great. Reason one, great acting and the storyline was top notch. The best of the acting crew was Margaret Robbie as Harley Quinn, Jared Leto as the Joker, and Will Smith as Deadshot. Each of them brought real grace and energy to their portrayal. Reason two, the energy had amazing special. The movie had amazing special effects with great computer-generated imagery. As CGI films go, Suicide Squad delivered the most vivid spectacle, bright flashing lights, coordinated demolition, and terrifically rendered monsters. Made this a great viewing experience. I saw this film in IMAX 3D and would recommend that format to anyone. Reason three: the characters had lots of personality. They were also there were great relationships, as between Deadshot and his daughter, and Harley Quinn and the Joker. Strangely for a superhero movie, part of the DC cinematic universe, Suicide Squad was also a really effective romantic comedy too. Little has been noticed about the rom-com aspect of the film. Overall, I highly recommend this movie to mature people of all ages. Here today with Matt Valente, my movie, The Live Action Beauty and the Beast. I thought this movie was decent and fine. It had good special effects, decent acting, and nice characters. Reason one, the movie had good special effects. It had some beautiful sheets. The cinematography was really good. Reason two, the acting was decent, although Emma Watson was won awards for performance. I thought she was just okay. She did not show great emotional range. Better acting. She did not show a great emotional range. The acting was done by the people who played inanimate objects like the clock and the teapot. The characters are nice and charming, but they didn't have much depth. Conclusion: this movie had its good points: costumes, music, and special effects. It also had swing points: average acting and script. You're here today with Matt Valente. Today, um, here to share with you my movie review of The Zookeeper's Wife. I thought this movie was fantastic, socially important, and highly concerned with animals. Reason one: this movie had a historically significant story drawn from real life. The main characters were heroes in the Polish Renaissance to Nazi scum. Reason two: the Warsaw Zoo, which was the scene of the film, contained many interesting and lovable species. Reason three: especially the bunnies, the bison, the white lions, tigers, and elephants. The destruction of the zoo by Nazi bombing was horrific. Reason three: the parallels between the treatment of animals and the treatment of the Jews between the destruction of the Warsaw Zoo and the firebombing of the Warsaw Ghetto. The cinematography was great, particularly when they showed the destruction of the ghetto. Reason four: there were some excellent performances, such as the title character played by Jessica Chastain. Conclusion: I thought this film was a masterpiece. Everyone should see it. I thought this movie was You're here today with Matt Fallen, not the man. This is my movie review of Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I thought this movie was an amazing action adventure superhero film. Reason one: the visuals were truly awesome. The destruction of the planet Ego was one of the great movie spectacles. I saw this movie in IMAX 3D, and I would recommend that to anyone anyone going to Guardians try to see it in that format. Reason two: the humor. This film was hilarious by any standard, but especially for a superhero film. It was a comedy in its own right. The character of Rocket Raccoon was particularly witty. Reason three: the story that combined heroes versus Reason three: the story. The movie combined heroes versus villains plotline with what is known as a family romance. The main character, Star-Lord, reunites with his father, Ego, only to discover that his father only cares about himself, as his name suggests. What is more, his father killed his mother in a particularly gruesome fashion. A celestial, or god, he implanted a malignant brain tumor in the woman he supposedly loved. That knowledge breaks all bonds between Ego and Star-Lord, who kills his father even though it will make himself mortal. In the end, Star-Lord realizes his adoptive father, Yandu, is his real dad. There is a second interesting family plot between Gamora, who is Star-Lord's love interest, and his sister Nebula. Apparently their father pitted them against one another in fights as children, creating a lifelong hostility between them. The fathers in this movie really stink, but Gamora and Nebula, like Star-Lord, come to realize that their real family is the Guardians. Reason 4, they are a couple of really great performances. Kurt Russell as Ego, and in a cameo, Sylvester Stallone as the head of the Renegades. Also, Sean Gunn as the brother of the film's director was fabulous as the last soldier still loyal to Yandu. Conclusion. This was a most successful sequel to Guardians of the Galaxy 1, and in fact was better than that very good original. This almost never happens, well worth seeing.